Dr. Reed, how's it going?
Good, John. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I'm glad I could actually meet you in person for once. We've talked a couple times on the phone, but haven't really discussed too much into what we're doing here. So glad we can meet and get this ball rolling.
Yeah, me too. I'm very excited. I think this company idea that you have is you have a lot of potential. So I just kind of want to help out with that.
Yeah, well, I'm super grateful. I know you and my dad go way back, so I'm happy we have this connection. We can hopefully make sure everything works out. So I don't want to waste too much of your time. I know you're a busy man with Edison Bulbs, so I'll try to make this a little quicker. But where we're at right now is I'm just trying to kind of get a second guy to help me start up everything and help fund it all so that I can make sure that this is at the top of its game. Now I know you mentioned that you have a salesman named Sam Schaefer. Have you talked to him about kind of coming over and helping out HalaMaterials?
I have not yet talked to him, but he would totally be willing and ready. The only reason why he's still with Edison Bulb is because of me. So if I go, he'll go.
Okay, well that's good to know because the sales is you can't make profits without sales. So glad to hear that he's able to jump on board if we get this going.
He's been the #1 salesman for Edison Bulb for a long time. So
that's good to know. I'm gonna take notes just to make sure we have all the information. So Sam would come. That's good to know. Now, speaking of Edison Bulbs, and you said that he's just kind of there because of you being there also, what are your game plans for staying there? Are you thinking of staying there until you retire, or are you going to drop that and come help me out full-time over here? What's kind of your idea?
Well, I would like to help you as much as I can. I do have a contract still with Edison Bulb for 1 more year. So I would like to help you out because I know you want to get started right away. So I don't think that should be a punishment to you. So I was thinking about helping you out part-time in the first year. And then after that, coming over full-time, dedicating my time to your baby, to your project.
Yeah, good to know. Okay. That's good. So I just kind of have to make sure everything is running smoothly for that first year, and then after that point, you'd be all in, hands-on, and kind of making sure it goes on from there.
Correct. And I'll be there that first year if you have any questions or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just to help you out. So I understand from talking to your dad a little bit that you'll need some money up front to kind of get going, and I'm totally willing to pay for that and to help out there as well.
Yeah. Do you have like an idea? Because we have an amount and we're willing to match whatever you guys kind of put in. Did you have an idea of how much you want to put in?
Really, whatever you need. So I was kind of thinking, I didn't know that you had a match price, but I could go half with whoever is doing that. Is it your dad?
Yeah. So we kind of set up a plan where we're going in together, but then I'm just going to slowly pay him off because he has his own company to worry about. He just wants to help me in my process.
Okay.
So I'll slowly pay him off. So equity will eventually be all mine, but right off the bat, it's going to be we're splitting it and then some for you as well. So
sounds good.
That's kind of the game plan. So we're probably needing about $1 million to start out. So if you could throw in the $500,000, we'll match that $500,000. I think that'll be enough to get the ball rolling. Does that sound okay for you to put in that much?
That sounds. Yeah, I'm willing to do that. But then it would come at my equity as well.
Yeah. Did you have an idea of kind of where we're standing for that?
Well, putting in $500,000 and my expertise in it and the relationships I've built here in this company, I would think like an 80-20 split is pretty fair.
Oh, 80-20. Wow. Okay. I wasn't really expecting that. Kind of threw me out. I mean, definitely you have some great experience in the industry and kind of with what's going on. Like with bringing over your top salesman, that's going to be a huge benefit. So I was thinking actually more around 55-45, you being the 45, me being the 55, since I'm going to be kind of overseeing everything and making sure it's all running. Since you're still part-time for that first bit, then I think with me kind of taking the reins for that at least that first year, that's kind of where I was standing. Just so that I make sure everything's running smoothly. You still have your hands full with Edison bulbs, and then after that year, then I think we could renegotiate some more equity, because then you're going to be hands-on. With that said, I'd be willing to kind of go 50-50 on the equity. Since you obviously want more, I want more. I'll kind of go 50-50 since I am putting in more of the effort. You do have more of the experience, but also working less. What do you say about that?
I could see going a little bit lower. I know this is your project, and I want you to be in charge and, you know, like treat you more as a partner than anything. So I am willing to go lower. The only issue with the equity in the beginning, with the first year, would be I would do kind of what your dad's doing, is giving you the money and then getting the loan kind of back. Instead of the equity, not quite allowed to own shares in another company like that over 5%. So if we could do a year the first loan and then do the equity split thereafter, I think we can come to an arrangement.
Okay. So with your helping in the HalaMaterials, what position were you kind of shooting for with this?
Well, as you know, I've been with Edison Bulbs for quite some time. I'm the CEO there, and I know how things work. So my original idea, talking with you a little bit, is to start out as CEO in your company, and you going as COO for the first couple of years, so I can, you know, kind of teach you, be your mentor, show you the ropes, and then you eventually taking over that position. And, you know, I drive away into the sunset. It's kind of the idea. But gotcha. I don't want to retire right now. That's kind of why I'm putting this effort into your company, is because, one, there's a lot of great things I see here that Edison Bulbs isn't doing. Some things that are really important to me. So I really want to help you out, and I think you have the right characteristics for it, the right drive, vision, and motivation for it. So that's kind of what I've been thinking.
Gotcha. Yeah, I definitely understand. I mean, you, like I said before, you have a lot more experience. You've networked really well over your lifetime in the industry. So my only concern is that the CEO, I feel, is the top dog. They need to be all in, hands on, making sure like the big picture is clear and making sure all the predecessors are working as they should be. And it's just hard to think that you could do that while also being the CEO of Edison Bulbs. Do you think you could maybe end that contract early and you could be the CEO here, and then I would take over that COO position? Because if not, then I think it's just kind of going to be hard for us to go full in like I'm planning on, if we don't have a full in CEO at the time. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes. I can't breach my contract on that. There could be some potential headaches there if I do that. So it's just better for you and for me not to do that. But I can definitely see, you know, in the beginning of that, what I would be doing as CEO would still be, you know, with my connections. I know great relations with all the suppliers around here, all the large suppliers, and to kind of maintain that relationship with them and to introduce you with them and get you connected is kind of the idea, and get going. The only where I have with you starting out as CEO is just your experience. I know you're a really bright young man, and you got that good schooling behind you, but you know, experience is very valuable, and in life application is a little bit different than I think you might expect. So I think it would actually be a good help to you in the beginning to do that, and then you know, when you're ready to take the reins.
And how long after Edison Bulbs, how much longer do you think you're going to work before you retire? For good.
To be honest, I was thinking about 5 more years. That way I can put in all I have in 5 years, and I think that will be satisfying for everyone. I think that'd be very beneficial for you and the company, and also for me to, give what I got and do my best at it. So.
Gotcha. Okay, so let me just clarify. So your goal is to be CEO for the first year, and then would you give that up to me after you mentor me for that first year and you leave Edison Bulbs, or did you plan on staying CEO until you retire?
I was planning on being CEO at least the first 3 years, just because with the startup, the first year is going to be very different than the second, and then the third is kind of a process. So getting you through that process, helping you out with that, and once you feel comfortable, and then to do it. But I also think it might be wise. You might want to go travel and look at different markets or whatnot around the area. So I can stay and just be in charge of the headquarters where we're at, while you go and kind of expand your own business.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be also for you if I stay at that position for a number of years.
Gotcha. And then going back to equity, you said that you could lower. What were you planning on going to for the equity?
Well, if you're asking for $500,000, I do understand this is your company and all that stuff. I could see 50-50 to begin with. Since you did bring up the point, I'll have to split my time between this company and Edison Bulbs. Mm-hmm. But maybe 60-40 in the second year, and until and in the last 4 years.
60-40 you?
Yes.
And then what'd you say the last?
Oh, just for the last 4 years, and then
from then on. Okay. Okay. Well, anything else? Any other questions that you have for me?
Yeah. The only real question I have is there's something that really important to me is the customer satisfaction. Mm-hmm. And I really want to promise the customers and the relations I have with them a good product that we're selling them. And I believe we can do that, especially going through China. Mm-hmm. But I just kind of wanted to hear a little bit more about that process, to be able to be confident in what we're selling to them, mm-hmm. That it's not below the quality that we're saying.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously have years of experience in the industry, so you want to make sure that you're backing up your product. So I've made some really good acquaintances since going to school recently, and one of my friend's fathers, he's kind of one of the top manufacturers in China for these materials, mm-hmm. and so he knows someone else that is more involved for the cheaper side, because he's more of the upper quality style, which we have at a cheaper price. So it's not quite as nice, but it's still a good way of kind of doing business. And I've met with him a couple times. We have a really good price right now, and I've even quoted some other companies that would be buying our materials, and they have agreed to those prices. So we already have a little bit of profit, I guess you could say, right off the bat. It's just your expertise and Sam's selling abilities. I think that's really gonna to boost us up. It's really hard to accept three things. One, that you're gonna be working part-time for us for this first year, which I believe the first year is the most crucial year, because if you don't do things right that first year, then you're setting yourself up for failure for the next 2, 3, 10 years, really. And then not only being part-time, but then also being the CEO part-time. That's just kind of concerning, because I got to make sure that everything's running smoothly, especially if this is my first company. This could be my last time being an entrepreneur if this doesn't go well. So I need to make sure that all hands are on deck and making sure it's running smoothly, at least for that first year. Because then after that, you could go full time and help us out. And then lastly, the equity is just hard to manage, because if it doesn't work out in the first year because you're not working full time or don't do things correctly, at least, it's kind of hard to think that there may even be a second, third, fourth year after that. And so equity, I mean, that's, if we're gonna fail within the first year. And so that's kind of where I'm wondering, why do you want so much equity? I mean, we're matching just how much you're putting in. It was our brainchild, our kind of idea, and going through with this. So what's making you want to take so much of the stake?
So what's interesting is, if we fell in the first year, then the second year equity, it doesn't even matter. So I don't know why you brought that up. But it's just from the industry, the experience and knowledge. It seemed kind of weird for a young man such as yourself to come in and being half and half. However, I do respect your father, of what he did in building the ground up, his business. So it's just interesting.
So I'll tell you what, I hate ultimatums, but I think for us to be able to come to an agreeable contract, I'm going to have to offer you one here. So I'm going to switch these years and the roles. I will do 60 equity me, 40 you for the first year, and then go down to 55, or go down to 50-50 for the second year and on. So whenever you retire, you're still going to have a good amount of this company, and I'll let you be CEO for the next 3 years. After that, it'll be passed on to me, because, not to call you old, you're just kind of getting up there in age. But I want you to be gone with Edison Bulbs within 9 months, so that we can make sure within our first fiscal year, we're going to be all hands on deck within it, not after, within it. So if you can do 9 months to leave Edison Bulbs, and 60-40, and then after that it'll be 50-50, and you can be the CEO for the first 3 years. I think that's going to be the best I can offer you, if you want to be a part of HalaMaterials.
I appreciate that offer. I would say no to the contract, because I can't breach that, as far as legal and headaches and all that good stuff. On the equity, I could do 50-50, but 60-40 just won't cut it for me. And on the CEO part is, agreeable. I could do it for 3 and then give it up to you.
All right, Doctor. Well, it's been a pleasure. Hopefully we can do business sometime in the future.
All right, good luck to you.
Thanks.